All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are going to break down a formula that can literally take you from that feeling of constant money stress to a place of real, actual control. And this is all based on a deep dive into financial analysis.
Seriously? Just think about that for a second. What if there was one specific tangible number you could hit that would completely change how you feel about money? A number that could finally silence most of those 3 a.m. panic sessions about your bank account. That's the big idea we're chasing down today.
But, before we can really appreciate the solution, we kind of have to get real about the problem. So let's take a look at the financial reality for the average person. And hey, if any of this feels a little too familiar, just know you are in good company.
So let's start with income. The median annual income for a full-time worker here in the US is right around $52,000. And the key thing to remember here is that's before taxes. That's the number we're starting with.
Now you take that income and you stack it up against this number, $9,000. That, believe it or not, is the average credit card debt for a US household. It's like this heavy anchor of high-interest debt that's just constantly pulling that paycheck down month after month.
So you've got the paycheck coming in, you've got this high-interest debt going out. What's left to actually put away? Well, on average, just 6%. That's the personal savings rate, and it just shows you how thin the margin for error is for most people. There's just not a lot of wiggle room.
And this table, well, this shows the result of all that over a lifetime. It's the median net worth for different age groups. You can see it starts pretty low, and for most people, it grows just painfully slowly. It's kind of a sobering picture, and it's the exact reality we're trying to figure out how to change.
So, the big question is, why are so many people stuck here? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle comes down to two, what you could call modern financial traps. These are the things that are culturally normal, but quietly just destroy your ability to get ahead. Let's unmask these villains.
First up, we've got the car payment trap, and man is it a vicious cycle. It goes like this. You get a loan for a brand new expensive car, maybe for 6, 7, even 8 years. But the car loses value way faster than you pay it off, so you're instantly upside down. Then, a few years later, you're bored with it, so you roll that negative equity into a new loan for an even more expensive car. It is the definition of a financial hamster wheel.
And this quote just nails the psychology behind it, right? It's not really about transportation. It's about buying an identity. It's an emotional decision, a feeling, and as this puts it so perfectly, it's wealth destruction with cup holders and heated seats.
Okay, trap number 2 is housing, and this one is sneaky. See, most people only look at the mortgage payment, the P&I, but the true monthly cost? Oh, it's so much higher. For a typical $500,000 house, once you pile on taxes, insurance, maintenance, and PMI, you're not looking at $2,800 a month. You're looking at over $4,300 every single month.
And here is the absolutely brutal math. To actually afford that house without being totally stressed, a household needs to be pulling in an income that only the top 10 to 20% of earners make. And that, right there, that's the painful disconnect between that median income we saw earlier and the cost of owning the supposed American dream.
Okay, so that's the landscape, and I know it can feel a little bleak, but what is the first real step out of that cycle? It's hitting one key milestone. A milestone that is basically a secret weapon against all that financial anxiety.
Hitting your first $10,000 in savings is a game changer. It's a massive psychological shift. Your life literally moves from survival mode to stability mode. Things that used to be financial disasters that would ruin your year, now they're just inconveniences. That constant background hum of stress starts to fade, and you finally get the mental space to think about growing instead of just playing defense all the time.
This whole phenomenon is called the emergency fund effect. And here's the secret. The biggest benefit isn't even from using the money. It's the peace of mind and the quiet confidence you get just from knowing it's there. That feeling is what unlocks the mental energy you need to actually go out and build a better future.
And let's be practical. What does 10 grand really do for you? Well, it makes you basically immune to the most common financial shocks. It covers almost any car repair you can think of. It handles the vast majority of surprise medical bills. And it can give you 3, 4, even 6 months of breathing room if you lose your job. It turns a full-blown panic into a problem you can manage.
So once you've built that foundation, once you have that stability, you've earned the right to change the rules of the game. Hitting that next milestone, let's say around $20,000, isn't just about having more of a safety net. It's about unlocking a totally new mindset about opportunity and control.
I absolutely love this analogy because it is so incredibly true. Saving that first 10 or 20,000, it feels like you're pushing a giant boulder up a really steep hill. It is a grind. But once you get to the top of that hill, something incredible happens. The momentum flips, and all of a sudden, gravity starts working for you instead of against you.
And you can see that gravitational pull right here in the numbers. Look at this. Saving your first $20,000 might take you 19 months of scraping and saving, but the next 20 grand, only 17 months. You fast forward a bit and that same $20,000 can show up in just 5 months. The reason is simple. In the beginning, it's all you. It's 100% your effort. But later on, your money starts doing the heavy lifting for you.
Having this level of savings also gives you one of the most powerful tools you can have in your entire career, walking away money. It's having enough cash to just quit a job you hate knowing you'll be fine for months while you find something better. Just imagine the confidence that gives you in a salary negotiation. Imagine the courage it gives you to leave a toxic workplace. It's not just money, it's power, it's leverage.
So let's bring this all full circle. The real path to wealth, it turns out, isn't some complicated secret. It's really just a fundamental shift in how you think. A deliberate choice to move from the reactive habits of the average person to the proactive mindset of a saver. Just look at the difference here. One person is obsessed with the monthly payment. The other is focused on the total cost and what else that money could be doing for them. One person is literally borrowing from their future self to pay for today. The other is investing today to build a richer future. It's the difference between seeing money as something to be spent and seeing it as a tool to be multiplied.
And really, that's what this all boils down to. Your money is just a tool. That's all it is. In your hands, that tool can build a prison of debt and stress, or it can build a life of freedom and opportunity. So the only question left is the one you have to ask yourself. What are you building?